The New York Giants are a team that we have felt is actually pretty talented. Like there's actually quite a few pieces here, and now with Brian Daboll in there as the head coach, and Joe Shun. We never get any of these names right. We're sorry, but there's a lot of things that I feel like the Giants have in terms of talent that I don't think a lot of people are considering. But discussion for another day, because today we begin another morning with another cup of Hot Joe and another mock draft of the New York Giants, just kind of talking about some of the different things that we see in terms of, how this thing could all fold out for them. I believe the Giants have like 2 first-round draft picks in like the side of the top 10 or something like that. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but they've got a lot of draft capital, and I think they could turn this around pretty quickly. And so, I think moving forward, this is definitely a really good spot for the Giants, and I think this is going to be an interesting mock draft to say the least. So, as you can see here, we have our speed. We like to slow it down a little bit, just a little bit, about half. Well, that's not half. That's close enough. Okay, so then we take off our default settings. We don't really care about the public versus PFF perspective on things. Care for position value is high. Draft for needs also high, and no randomness. Go to Giants and enter our draft. Not after having a cup of Hot Joe. All right, so the Giants have 5 and 7. That's wild. All right. I really don't think we did. Did we enter it in a 7 round, please? It needs to stop going to 3. 7 round. There we go. Okay. All right. Sorry about this. Okay. So low positional value, blah, blah, all that stuff. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Draft for needs. No randomness. We liked it to be as realistic as possible. And there we go. Okay. I guess we had it right before. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start the draft here and just see how this thing all unfolds. So you're the Giants, you're at 5, and you have Ikem Ekwonu and Charles Cross that both fall to you. You also have Derek Stingley Jr. And I know corner is not necessarily a need for the Giants, but if Derek Stingley Jr. falls to you, don't know that he will. I don't know that... Do the Jets take Evan Neal? I don't know. Kayvon Thibodeaux. I mean, I'm sorry. I'll never get over the fact that PFF mock draft says that the Houston Texans need every position. That's hilarious. Kyle Hamilton is rising up a lot of draft boards, so it wouldn't surprise me there. So, I mean, this is kind of realistic. Like, they could find themselves in a spot where Derek Stingley Jr. takes somewhat of a little bit of a fall here. But the thing is, I think they've got really huge offensive line problems, and I think simply doubling down here would solve a lot of them. But the thing is, I think Charles Cross is more of a left tackle in my mind, and Ikem Ekwonu, I think he could play both, honestly. So, I mean, the Giants don't need. I mean, Nate Solder's like getting to be up there, so I know this might not be a popular opinion or a popular done thing here. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the Giants' first mock draft that we've done for this season, so that means no trading. We stick and pick for now just to see where everything falls. So I would like to see, you know what? I think we go Ikem Ekwonu for our first pick. That way you got your right tackle of the future. You've also I think this is going to be really interesting because you have a lot of talent here on the Giants side of the football. Like we said, the offensive line is the biggest issue for me. Like, I really don't understand. And that's the thing too, is you think you really need all these positions to be able to. You need all these draft picks to be able to build your offensive line. But as we've seen Daniel Jeremiah explain, you don't need all these first-round picks. So I think you could comfortably draft a tackle here and then be just fine with where you are. This is a tough thing for me because I feel like the Giants are in a position where they don't necessarily need to draft 2 offensive linemen here, which I'm okay with. So, I mean, here I think you go Ikem Ekwonu. and I don't think I'm Derek Stingley Jr. That pains me a little bit to see. But then you got Andrew Thomas on one side, and you got Ikem Ekwonu on the other side. So now we're in an interesting spot here because you got guard, you got a center, edge, linebacker, George Karlaftis. I mean, I don't mind taking him here. I really don't. To help him, Aziz Ujulari. I know I never get those names right, but him and or do you go Tyler Linderbaum, excuse me. I don't mind that pick. Maybe a little bit high for him, but George Karlaftis, I mean, the Greek freak. My wife's Greek too, and I'm Greek by association. So I mean, I don't know. I think this would be a really good pick for the Giants. You know what? I think we can find some good centers. That pains me to leave Tyler Linderbaum, though. We'll worry about that in the future, but right now we're just worried about where the board falls. The board says, Charles Cross, Trent McDuffie, and George Karlaftis are going to be there. We go Karlaftis. I don't think you even hesitate on that one because he's a stud. I think you've got a lot of great tools to work with and really see where things fall for you. So then you're down here to 37. I'm sorry, but there is no way that Linderbaum falls down this far. There's just no way. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I'm sorry. I need to get over it. Okay. Yeah, Logan Hall here. Dylan Parham's there. This is a really good draft in terms of edge players. So maybe you could justify taking Tyler Linderbaum. What is it, 7, and then taking Karlaftis or somebody else in the second round. But I mean, this Tyler Linderbaum maybe takes a draft tumble. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. And I know this is we're trying to make this as how do I put this, as realistic as possible. I don't think Linderbaum's going to be there, so we're not going to take him. So question now becomes, you got edge and linebacker. So Brian Asamoah, I have had a huge crush on Brian Asamoah from the very beginning, and I think he would be a very good get for the Giants. But here we go. We are finding ourselves in a position here. You got Jalen Pitre, and you also got Sky Moore at wide receiver. I love Sky Moore. Let's see. Leo Chanel is there. Man, I love me some Leo. Travis Jones. I don't think I have a problem here with going with a guy like Chanel or Asamoah. What do you want to do here, Colton? All right, let's figure it out. I think we go at Brian Asamoah here. You immediately upgrade that linebacker core and really just see how this falls. Now, again, the only reason is because, again, I don't think Tyler Linderbaum falls that far. I'm sorry. He just doesn't, because he's the top center in this draft class, if you ask me, and I don't think it's even close. All right. I also wouldn't be opposed to seeing, where does Zion Johnson fall? I would not be opposed to having a guy like Zion Johnson. Where does he fall? I'm sorry, this is probably wasting a little bit of time, but I would just like to see where Zion Johnson goes, because he could be a guy that, does he go in the first round? Zion Johnson goes in the first round. That's not necessarily a shock for me, because Zion Johnson is a stud. All right. So now we are here at 69. See, you got Chad Mama. I love it. Oh, Nick Benito's still there. Oh, that's nasty. Benito's still there. Troy Anderson's still there. Do you double down on edge? Do you go Brandon Smith or Leo Chanel? Which, again, I don't know that's going to fall the way that far. He could. Doubt it. Yeah, I think I go Benito here. I really like Benito. I think he was a stud. He played with Perion Winfrey. He's got to be a stud. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like, yeah, I would like that, doubling down on edge here, but also a linebacker. If Troy Anderson falls to 79, I take Troy Anderson too, and I don't even think twice about it, because I love Troy Anderson. He played basically everything for Montana State, and you love it. Carson Strong's there. I mean, do we want to start the rebuilding process, or doubt it. We don't do that yet. Nope, not our place yet. All right, now I'm really liking what the Giants have here. Now, again, this is just us fiddle farting around with our first mock draft here. You know, they can move up, definitely do what they want. But and I know there's still kind of a position need at center. But, man, this board is really producing a lot of tackle or a lot of good quality linebackers. I think you go Troy Anderson here. I love Troy Anderson. I think he's a stud. Has been for a long time at Montana State. And I think you might be able to find a way to get Luke Fortner here. Question is he going to fall all the way to 146? No, you've got Giants have a major need at center. I think you go Fortner here. I love Luke Fortner. I have for a long time. And, you know, it kind of goes back to me, you know, what they could do, you know, in terms of just drafting Luke Fortner and not even just making him a center. I think you could do a lot of different things. Oh, Donovan West is there? That's nice. Let's see. So we've addressed every position of need pretty much, I think, ish. But also, yeah, like we said, you could put Luke Fortner there at guard and be okay with that. If we were trading around, I probably would trade down from 7 to get Zion Johnson because he's my absolute draft crush right now. But let's see who you got. Josh Rivas. I think that's why I think Luke Fortner could really come in and just play whatever. I think you go Donovan West here. You double down. Again, Donovan West is the guy I think you can move into guard too. These center and guard, the only difference is you don't hike a ball. Like literally, that's, you know, if you get a good coaching staff, we've seen it with a lot of actually offensive linemen that, you know, you can convert centers to guards or guards to centers. We saw it with Wyatt Davis and the Vikings last year, you know, at least trying him out. Now, it didn't necessarily work out in terms of he didn't play it, but overall, there's a lot of different things you could love to see there and see that could happen. Let's see here. Zandra White stud, man. Zaquandre. I can't talk today. I need more coffee. Sorry. Zaquandre White is still there. Nick Cross, stud at Maryland, still there. Tyler Beatty's there at running back. Like, that would be really interesting. Can we, like, between him and Saquon, Tyler Beatty's there. We're at 171. I think you take Tyler Beatty here. Listen, you've pretty much addressed. Now, I would like to see more guard help, and we'll get into more guard help. We'll go target our specific players at guard. But for right now, sticking and picking, I like how this draft is ending out. Let's see here. Josh Rivas is there at 160. I think you triple down. You triple down. Like the worst thing, and that's the thing is Daniel Jeremiah pointed out. I think he did a study on like the last 10 championship teams, and like the vast majority of those teams only used a couple of first-round draft picks or higher on linemen. Like, and that's the things. I think we've seen it with Mike Ekwonu a couple of years ago. We've seen it with a lot of other, linemen. Trey Smith this last year. Excuse me. I mean. You don't need to use a first-round draft pick to be able to go get a good offensive lineman. A lot of it just comes down to looking at what you've got, looking what's on the board, and going from there. Now, I know a lot of people might not like this pick, Ikem Ekwonu from me, because I think Nate Soldiers are starting right tackle, but if Ekwonu falls that far, I think you go get him. That way you've got Andrew Thomas and Ekwonu, both your starting tackles, studs for future. You don't need to do anything for your tackles. Don't need to touch him for a decade. George Karlaftis, edge player here. Combine him with the Azeez Ojulari. You love it. Brian Asamoah there. In the second round, I've seen him go first round. I've seen him go third round. But I really love what he brings to the table. Immediately upgrades that linebacker position. Nick Benito, edge player out of Oklahoma, stud, immediately makes them better, at least provides quality depth at the worst, and is a future star in my mind. Also, Troy Anderson, he basically played everything at Kentucky, at Montana State. I was looking at Luke Fortner. Troy Anderson, I mean, I think I saw him play running back. I mean, he had over like 1,000 yards rushing. Like, he's just, I think he could make more of an impact potentially than Samoa. You never know. Anderson is he's just a football player. Luke Fortner and Donovan West, they're both centers. Now, again, we have seen it in the NFL where these centers get moved to guard, and I think you get these two guys that are two really good players that I think if you can train them and coach them up on how to play guard, that's going to be really sexy. I love it. I think you get those two guys in there, and again, potentially not only have two good centers, but two guards, or at least one guard out of there, and love it. Tyler Beatty, this is just too good to pass up. Tyler Beatty falls down to 170. We've seen, especially over the last couple of years, the running back position is taking kind of a tumble in terms of value. Getting Tyler Beatty here in the 5th round, that makes a lot of sense to me. Get him with guys like Saquon and all them. I love it. I absolutely love it. Then you close out the draft here by getting a guy like Josh Rivas out of Kansas State. Funny story, my brother went to Kansas State at Salina and is never allowed to golf on the Kansas Municipal Golf Course again. And if you guys want us to tell you that story, we will. There is definitely no drinking involved, but anyway, the point is, Josh Rivas, I think at the very least, he could be a very good depth player for the Giants moving forward. But again, this is only our first run at this for the Giants. I would like to see maybe a trade down where you would get Karlaftis and maybe get some more end of 6th and 7th round talent, potentially 3rd or 4th, because there's a lot of talent in that middle round that I think you could tap into in terms of guard play, but also trade down for Zion Johnson. That would be ideal. I absolutely get Zion Johnson immediately. Take over one of your guard spots and never have to worry about it again. But that's it. Again, first time running through this thing. We're going to put more emphasis on guard moving forward when we address the Giants. But overall, I really like how this thing ended up. It will be really interesting to see how it all does come together for the Giants. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. In the description down below, you find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else that you would like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. Let us know what you guys think about our very, 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 very preliminary mock draft of the New York Giants.